Project Moondust, UFOs, JFK and the murder of Marilyn Monroe. Dr. Bolson has been fascinated with the death of Marilyn Monroe for many years. In fact, as a certified UFO field investigator, research consultant, and New Mexico State Director for MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, he had heard rumors of a UFO connection with Marilyn's death. One of the linchpins of Dr. Bolson's hypothesis is a CIA document that has come to be known as the Marilyn Monroe document, which mysteriously surfaced in 1994. The document has a subject line Marilyn Monroe and a project line Moondust. According to Bolson, Project Moondust had existed since 1953, and whose purpose was the recovering of debris from fallen space vehicles, certainly to include UFO crashed debris. Back in 1979, the late UFO researcher Robert Todd obtained a 1961 Air Force intelligence document, declassified under the terms of the Freedom of Information Act, which offered intriguing data on the program, and on certain related operations, too. Dated November 3, 1961, the document states in part: in addition to their staff duty assignments, intelligence team personnel have peacetime duty functions in support of such Air Force projects as Moondust, Bluefly, and UFO, and other UFO-directed quick reaction projects which require intelligence team operational capabilities. Unidentified flying objects, UFO. Headquarters USAF has established a program for investigation of reliably reported unidentified flying objects within the United States. AFR 200, 2 delineates 11/27 collection responsibilities. The document continues, Bluefly. Operation Bluefly has been established to facilitate expeditious delivery to FDD of Moondust or other items of great technical intelligence interest. AFSINSOP for Bluefly operations, February 1960, provides for 11/27 participation. Moondust. As a specialized aspect of its overall material exploitation program, Headquarters USAF has established Project Moondust to locate, recover, and deliver descended foreign space vehicles. ICGL No. 4, 25 April 1961, delineates collection responsibilities. According to UFOs and the murder of Marilyn Monroe, the document has an apparent reference, in the routing data at the bottom of the page, to MJ12. This reference to MJ12 further associates the Marilyn Monroe document with the whole question of governmental secrecy about unidentified flying objects. Dr. Stephen Greer, director of the Getty, Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, Disclosure Project Group, says in his book Extraterrestrial Contact, the evidence and implications that the Marilyn Monroe document came to him in 1994 by way of a contact with access to NSA officials. He further states, with reference to the question of the document's genuineness, it has been authenticated by the best document researcher in the world, a man who for years sat outside General Odom's door as his senior aide when Odom was NSA head. Dr. Bolson's work involves computer image enhancement. He is a director of a computer lab at Eastern New Mexico University. One day, when the Marilyn Monroe document was being displayed, a student noticed a sort of smudge or shadow to the left of the top secret stamp. When enhanced, the imprint contained the name Shulgin. This proved to be another invaluable piece of UFO evidence. Brigadier General George Shulgin was the chief of the Air Intelligence Requirements Division of Army Air Corps Intelligence. His job basically was to investigate UFOs. How did his name get on the document? Marilyn was murdered on a Saturday night. She was prepared, and had told friends, that she planned to hold a news conference on the following Monday. Several months before her death, Marilyn had met Jose Bolaños, a Mexican film director and screenwriter. In fact, Jose accompanied Marilyn to the 1962 Golden Globe Awards. Jose phoned and spoke to Marilyn around 10 p.m. the night of her death, and according to Jose, she would tell the media something that will one day shock the whole world. One can only speculate as to what the something was. We can be confident it didn't concern her affairs with Bobby, or John Kennedy. Both of their wives were aware of their infidelity. She also probably knew of the plot to kill Fidel Castro, and the Bay of Pigs, but would this be reason enough to silence her? Dr. Bolson believes that there is undisputed proof that Bobby Kennedy was at the scene of Marilyn's death. Norman Jeffries, who worked with Marilyn's housekeeper Eunice Murray, and helped around the house, said that some men came to Marilyn's house around 10 p.m. the night of her death. One man recognized by Mr. Jeffries was Robert Kennedy, who was accompanied by two men he didn't know. Elizabeth Flood, who lived right next door to Marilyn, and held bridge parties every Saturday night, states that she saw Bobby Kennedy, and two other men walk right past the window, headed for Marilyn's house, and one of the men was carrying a small black bag of the sort that a doctor would carry. According to Norman Jeffries, Bobby and the two mystery men entered the house, and ordered Norman and Eunice to leave. Marilyn Monroe biographer Donald Wolfe quotes Norman as saying, "I mean, they made it clear we were to be gone." This was the second time in one day that Bobby Kennedy had ordered them out of Marilyn's house. Norman was waiting at a neighbor's until Kennedy and the others left the house, which he says was about 10:30 p.m. Eunice and Norman, feeling the coast was clear, returned to the house and discovered Marilyn sprawled face down, nude, across the daybed in the guest cottage. She was alive, but she was dying. Dr. Bolson believes that between the time Bobby Kennedy and his two cohorts entered Marilyn Monroe's house around 10 p.m. and the time they left it around 10:30 p.m., a loathsome crime was committed. Marilyn was clearly not expected to survive. If you believe in the UFO conspiracy or not, it is apparent that Marilyn Monroe's death was due in part to information she knew about the Kennedy brothers and tragically recorded in her little red diary. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, audio recordings tape Bobby Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe having a violent argument which went something like this. "Where is it? Where the F is it?" And things to that effect. "My family must have it, and we'll make any arrangements you want, and we'll pay you for it." In retrospect, it's obvious that Bobby was looking for Marilyn's diary. Marilyn had been a diary keeper all her life, and her most recent one was a little red book in which she was known to have scribbled, among other things, notes on things she and Bobby Kennedy had talked about, including political matters, and foreign affairs. Jean Carmen has recalled seeing Bobby grab up Marilyn's red diary in her living room one day and hurl it across the room, shouting, "Get rid of this." As mentioned, Dr. Stephen Greer came into possession of a CIA document that dealt with Marilyn and Bobby Kennedy. A synopsis of the document stated that the subject, Marilyn, would hold a press conference and would tell all. And the subject, Marilyn, made reference to her diary of secrets, and what the newspapers would do with such disclosures. Lionel Grandison, from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, was the last person recorded to have seen and examined Marilyn's red diary. He had sent his driver to Marilyn's house in the hopes of recovering an address book so that relatives could be notified of Marilyn's death. Marilyn's housekeeper Eunice Murray gave the driver an address book and a little red diary. He stated that the diary contained interesting references to the Kennedys, and other people, notably Fidel Castro, but it contained no addresses. Grandison, before leaving his office for the day, locked the diary away in the coroner's office safe. When he returned to work on Tuesday, August 7th, the safe was still locked but the little red diary was gone. Marilyn's diary was never seen again.